Welcome back, everybody. Todd here. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to continue on with this build series that we have going on Laura's 2024 Honda NX500. If you haven't seen any of the previous build videos, I'll put a link down below in the description. But today we're going to be tackling the 12-volt power source for her dash here. That way we're going to put that adapter in. And that way she'll have power so she can plug her cell phone in or any other devices or whatnot. So yeah, come on along and let's see what we get into today. All right, so we're over here on the dash of the NX500 and you can see right there where that plug is. That's the factory plug that comes in the hole they have dished out for the 12-volt accessory socket. And we've gone ahead and purchased that. So today we're gonna pop that off of there and go ahead and install the 12-volt socket. Laura's gonna try to get this off. She's gonna get her fingers under there and pop it out. It's just a plug. Okay, there you go. So I went online and I printed off the instructions as usual. Here's our actual part. There's your Honda SKU number. This is a OEM part. You can buy this through the dealership. It's relatively inexpensive, or you can go right out on eBay. We bought this on eBay, made sure that it was the exact same part number and everything else. So there's your part numbers. Printed this off of the Honda website. Our second step after pulling that plug out of there is going to be to remove the seat. So she's going to go ahead and pop the seat off the bike. All right, set that aside so that it doesn't end up ruined. Our next step is to remove the side cover. That is a 5mm. Obviously it had Loctite on it, but she's spinning now. Got the bolts out of it. We're going to go ahead and take our time and find the grommets back there and just pop it out. There you go. So obviously you've got some grommets there that go in there, there. Let me see the back side of that. There you go. What is there, 3 of them? 2 of them? Yeah. One there, and one there. So, okay. We're going to move on to the next step. There's our actual part. Couple of zip ties. This is the plug that came out of the dash. Set that aside. So there you go. Something to know too is what you're going to get is pretty much just the cigarette lighter, and then you're going to have to buy the insert, and then there's a variety of different kinds you can get, and I'd go right to Amazon on that. Okay, and then of course these are the directions. Just to recap, we took the seat off, we took that first side cover off, and now we're working on the mid fairing cover or whatever it's called. And you're going to have to start by coming down here, and you can see there's some clips up in there, a clip, and then there's another screw that has to be taken out there. So that's what we're going to work on now. So we've got a small screwdriver here she's going to use to go ahead and do it. She's going to put that in the center of the pin. I know you can't see it, her hands are in the way, but it's so there's a pin down there. She's going to pop that thing, and then the pin should come out once it's been popped. She's already popped it, so there you go. And then this is what we're trying to get out. So we switched over to, it's still just a 5mm socket. So now we're moving over to the top. We've got the top one to take out. We're getting this ready to go in. This was stuck up underneath there. You got to pull this away, get it down low, then you're going to have to squish this through so you can remove this. Then if we come over to the bike, over here, you're going to need to feed this all down through the hole, like so. You got to get that down in there. Now I'm gonna have to take this, find my cord down here, and I'm gonna have to move that all the way back up and screw it down to lock this in tight. Here's what you're looking for. It's in between the outer fairing and the inner fairing. We have not been able to get that whole fairing thing off. We've gotten far enough that we could separate it, find it, and once we've got this put back together, I'm going to walk you back through it, because this is not an easy process, and there's really, at this point, on this NX500, there's nothing out there explaining it. We watched a bunch of videos on people on a CB500X doing it, and this whole fairing is completely different. Once you get it, here's your dummy, and this thing right here that she's got, that's your dummy. Well, if you look at that, pull that forward, Laura. There's a clip that goes right in that. You can see the side right there. There's a clip. There's the dummy that goes in it. And on the side of it, I don't know if you're seeing that, there's that clasp or the clip. It fits down in there. You simply got to push that in and then pull on the dummy and pull it out of there.
No, you pull it out.
You pull it out. It comes right out when you do that. You're not getting it out without doing it that way. So, all right, I hope that helps somebody. We've been able to go in, get the plug in, and now we just have to put it together. And it's grabbing the other end of that and plugging it right straight in there. So let's see how easy peasy it is. There's the end of the 12 volt. And then that's where it comes from. So it's a matter of figuring out how to get that back in the right direction.
Yeah, okay, got it.
And just like that, it should work. Now, before we put this bike back together, we need to test it. Okay, we turn this on, that should light up. Let's do it. And there it is. Success. So we are cleared to put this thing back together. So we're putting a side cover on at this point, and we should be near done. Seat after that, and then we're good. And there we are, it's back together. And by far the most difficult part of this whole thing is dealing with that side cover. The side cover is not a problem, it's the fairing. And there just is no good way of getting that thing off. I can tell you for sure that pulling that thing off is way beyond something I wanted to have to do. And you can get that thing installed without pulling it all the way off, but you have to separate the two. And I don't have all the answers for you. I just have what we did. And you're dealing with a number of pins that are down in there, a couple of bolts, and we took off the top one right here. Took off this one right here. And then there's Velcro in here. And you can separate it out enough to get your hand down in there and work. That's the answer, I guess. Let me walk you through one thing that you might find helpful. Where you're trying to find that wire, as you can see the inner fairing there, as you get up, it's on the outside, or be the right side of that inner fairing. So it's on the inside. And it's in between the two fairings, the outer and the inner. It's sandwiched in there as you get down in there. So you'll see when you start pulling this thing apart, you've got to separate the outer and the inner fairing, and that's where it's located. Again, success. You're going to need to buy something to go in there, because that's what you're going to end up with. We just pulled this out of my Jeep just so we could do a test fit and make sure we had power. We'll certainly be putting something different than that in there. I'll give you a look at the one that I have on my Kawasaki Versys X300. You can see it fits right down in there. Come around this side. It's flush right out. Again, there's lots of different options out there. Just go hit Amazon and should have no problem at all. This is a couple days later, and here's what I got on Amazon. I don't know if the autofocus is helping you out, but you can see there's a USB and a Type-C, and obviously it glows in the dark. And that's a flush mount. I'll put a link in the description for you. You got several different options, and that can pull right out of there too, so you can pull it back out, but it flush mounts, and it sits down below. See how it's got the rubber cap for weather? That goes right back on and seals it off, so if it's raining, you don't have to worry about water going down in there. Again, you pop that right off. It sits right down in there. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Hey, I really appreciate you guys tagging along as always. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. And then we'll see you back here on the next video with lots more coming on this Honda NX500 build. So we'll see you next time.